So Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats put forward a $3 trillion bill today, which honestly is dead on arrival anyway, because McConnell and Trump has said they're not going to move on it. Let's give more time to see how the $2 trillion sham bill, the $2 trillion bank robbery that they passed originally with Nancy and Chuck Schumer's help, because the Democrats went along with this devastating original bill. How many of you have even got your unemployment yet? The state offices are overrun. They can't handle this level of unemployment benefits. How many of you have even gotten your $12 crumb cake yet? So this one, this $3 trillion, let me give you a few of the major bullets here. You got $1 trillion in state and local aid. I'm going to explain to you why that is actually not what you think it is. Another extension of the $600 unemployment benefits, which again, in theory, is a good thing if people could get it right away, which they are not getting it right away. $200 billion in hazard pay, that's not nearly enough. Second round of direct checks, talking about the $1,200 crumb cake. So I'm not good at math, but $1,200. If you haven't gotten the original $1,200 yet, okay, well, when are you going to get this one? It's not relief if you don't get it now. And $1,200 is not enough. In addition to this, okay, so let's start with the $1 trillion of local and state aid. When federal government allocates money to the states, I'll give you the example of the Flint water crisis. Now 6 years, still with no clean water, still no justice in Flint, not one person in prison. When $170 million under President Obama and the Democratic Congress was passed for Flint, I could tell you for a fact, maybe a quarter of that money actually went to Flint, city of Flint, towards water relief. The rest got diverted because the money didn't go directly to citizens of Flint. It went to the governor at that time, Rick Snyder. So when you allow money to go to governors, whether Democrat or Republican, I always tell you it's not the politicians making the decisions, it's their donors on the Democratic side and the Republican side. So I guarantee you the nearly $1 trillion going to states, cities, and towns, that money, it's not going directly to you if you live in those states, cities, and towns. It's going to banks. It's going to law firms. It's going to real estate developers. It's going to nonprofits. It's going to private foundations. It's going to chambers of commerce, state, city, local. All of this might sound good, but is that money going to all of those entities, which majority of those entities donate a lot of money to, the governors of the state, the mayors of the cities and towns? Again, this money is not like a refundable debit card going to you, the consumer, freaking out about paying rent, your mortgage, your utilities, your student loans, your car payments, your groceries for you and your kids. It's going to the governors of the states, to the mayors, and I promise you it's going to be a mix of goodies for donors and taking money that's supposed to go towards economic relief to shore up your pension situation, to shore up your other budget gaps that were there before the coronavirus pandemic, to balance the books for your water department deficit, more money for police and this, that, not going to the actual working people struggling in your cities and towns. That's why instead of $1 trillion going to state, city, and towns, to those governments, how about just giving the money directly to citizens and consumers? But they don't want to do that. Rashida Tlaib has put forward a bill. I think it said mint the effing coin. Well, mint the coin. Why am I holding back now? I've already dropped 20 F-bombs. She put forward a bill, refundable debit card, $2,000 a month right now, and just replenish it at the start of every month till the end of the pandemic. Essentially UBI right now. I wonder why they're not doing that. Because if they did that, it can't get diverted to the donors, to the real estate developers, to the lawyers who donate to politicians, to the corporate CEOs, to the Chamber of Commerce folks. I could tell you, I always get, well, what do you mean Obama's at fault? Congress gave Flint $170 million. Go ask the people of Flint how much of that money actually went to Flint. Go ask the people of New Orleans how much of the relief money actually went to relief of Hurricane Katrina. Go ask where the BP spill happened. I could do a whole damn documentary on money stolen, earmarked for certain disasters, diverted and gone to donors, to corporations. It's a sin, but because Nancy Pelosi put it on paper and the media breathlessly just regurgitates things like this is a good thing. Well, I don't personally trust the state and local government, particularly the governors and mayors who are all corrupt in their own fashion. Sorry to be so cynical, but I've kind of been around the country for the last 5 years. I know what I'm talking about. I don't really trust them to disperse the money in a way that will get you rehired or get you the health care you need. And in addition to that empty rhetoric of $1 trillion for states and local government, guess what else Speaker Pelosi's priorities were? A corporate lobbyist bailout was snuck into this. Expanding the Paycheck Protection Program loan to all 501c4s and 501c6 under 500 employees. Oh, guess who 501c6 are? Lobbyists on K Street. 501c4s are dark money groups. She also added into there rolling back the SALT cap, which, to dumb it down for you, rolling back the SALT cap will help wealthy Americans in places like California and New York. People making six figures, not people like you and me. And before this bill went out, this is the opposition to Trump we're talking about. The quote-unquote opposition. I put opposition in quotes. By the way, we have almost 400 people watching, so if you haven't pressed the like button, please press that like button. But on top of $1 trillion to governors of states and mayors to loot the treasury and give it out to their donors, on top of that, on top of the corporate bailout, expanding the PPP program to corporate lobbyists, on top of the SALT cap reduction rollback, which helps wealthy Americans in San Francisco. No offense, some of you watching might be wealthy people. I'm not saying you don't deserve a little something, but frankly, I don't think you need help before workers in fast food, warehouses, workers making, I don't know, $75,000 or less. I think they should get help immediately. On top of all that, Pelosi and the Democrats signaled before today's bill came out that their main concern is working people double dipping. Oh! For example, they don't want someone who is receiving more unemployment money to also receive money through the Paycheck Protection Program. They don't want working people double dipping into different pots of money. So if you're getting unemployment, we don't want you to also get money through the small business loans We don't want you to get unemployment and a $1,200 check. What a sin if you get both. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.